going on, people? It's Daniel P again, and I'm back to finish up my top 5 hip-hop albums of this year list. Now, last time I went over my 5, which was Big Sean's Dark Sky Paradise, and my 4, which was Logic's album, The Incredible True Story. And then I did an honorable mention, and I did an album that got bumped off. You can go check out that video in the description. I'll link it. You can go check out my little brother coming up the stairs and getting out. Get out! Get out! Because he brought me some chicken tenders. But I can't eat that right now. Now we're basically here to finish off this list. Before I start off part 2, I want to say this is my list, this is my opinion. So if you don't agree, I don't know what to tell you. Go watch somebody else's video, make your own video. This is just my opinion. This is my ears, my brain working on a list, and this is what I chose. I still would like to see everyone else's list and see what everybody else chose, and I don't know, maybe I'm missing some. Maybe I haven't heard some of the albums. Maybe I just didn't give the albums a chance. But just the haters.
Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up.
Alright, to start this part 2 off, I'm gonna give you the number 3 pick, which is Drake's If You're Reading This, It's Too Late. I feel like I was just obligated to put this album on here. And this with Drake, I feel like anything he puts out is just gonna be hot, and I think he knows that. That's why this album was a surprise album, and it still sold so much, and people just love Drake. Like, I know me personally, I was just sitting around with my girlfriend, we were just chilling, and then we were like looking on Twitter, and it's like, oh my god, Drake just dropped an album, and we went to iTunes and bought it. Like, that's just how Drake is. When you hear that Drake has something new, you want to listen to it automatically. This album was good too. It was supposed to be a mixtape, but he dropped it as an album, and it still sounded like an album. So there was no complaints by me. I actually really like this project from him. It has a lot of hits. That's what Drake is, a hit maker. I feel like that whole thing with Meek Mill is stupid for even saying anything to Drake, who is like so on top right now. And what he was saying was so stupid, and it was so childish to jump at Drake on not writing some of the bars on his song, when Drake's job is to be a hit maker. And I feel like it just would affect him as a lyricist, but it's not really gonna affect him as a hit maker, because he's the one that put this song together. He's the one that made it come out how it came out. I feel like singers do it all the time. Singers have music written for them all the time. They just sing it. They're the ones that put it out. So Meek Mill, you did wrong. Number 3, if you're reading this, it's too late. And it's too late for you, Meek Mill. You gotta lay low for like a year. I think I gotta eat a chicken tender for these last 2. Crunchy ass chicken tender. Alright, for these last 2, when I spoke about lyricism and the Drake part, I do not think Drake is on the same level as these 2 lyrically, in terms of their content, in terms of their sound, in terms of, you know, what they're putting out there. And this was a really, really hard decision for me, but I know I definitely had to choose between these 2. I knew Drake was number 3 behind these, so let's get into it. Number 2, I chose J.Cole's 2014 College Hills Drive. And you probably know what number 1 is, but let's go. Let's keep going. I chose this album as number 2 because who's killing the game more than J. Cole right now? J. Cole just dropped this album. I feel like I found out about it like a week before it came out. I feel like a week or two before it came out, and I was just on Amazon. It was just at the bottom. I don't know why I didn't see it. I don't know if that's just me personally or anybody else that happened to, but I was like, oh my God, I didn't even know about this. I gotta get this album. I gotta get this album. So I listened to this album, and it's just so good. This was after Born Sinner. I loved Born Sinner. Like, that was such a good album. Just the sound of it, just the rapping in that album was amazing. Just some of the messages he put out there in that album were so good. So I was definitely on board for this album. I'm gonna be honest, I did not like his first album that came out, and he didn't even like it. He expressed that before. But his last album, Born Sinner, and this were like his best tours to date. I feel like the message was overall love, love yourself, love others, and it also gave like an old school feel. Like, he would talk about his life and how he came to be the man that he is, and how he got through some stuff, and how he wanted to be something else, and he eventually came into himself and found love for himself and found what he really wanted in life. So the message that he's putting out in this album was just so good to me, and I really love this album from J.Cole. I can't wait for some more stuff to come out from J.Cole. I heard that Black Friday freestyle, so February, I can never say it. February, we should be seeing some stuff from J.Cole. I also feel like J. Cole's album just came from such a good place. I feel like he's at a good place in his life, and the music really shows that. And this album had absolutely no features, and that's crazy this day and age, for an album to do that and still be doing so good, and people feel it, and people really connect to it. So this is definitely, I think it may be my favorite J. Cole album to date. This is a really good album from him. Cole. Alright. When I said these last two choices were hard, I know you know who number one is. Number one, Kendrick Lamar, To Pimp a Butterfly. Before you guys start hating, I know, because I told a couple of people this list, and they could not fathom that I put Kendrick Lamar's album in front of J. Cole's album. Now, me personally, I really, really like when artists can put you in a situation and make you really feel their music, make you go through the emotions of their music as the album progresses. And I feel like I already illustrated that in the last video. But this album was just so good to me. At first, I listened to it at midnight. I feel like I was just a little tired, but I listened to it, and I wasn't really feeling the sound of it, like the funk sound, I don't know, I just was not feeling it at all. It was like kind of jazzy, but I still like the lyrics. Like I grabbed onto that, and I grabbed onto what he was saying throughout the album. I liked all that at first, but I just couldn't get into the funk sound. And then as I kept listening to it, throughout, I feel like the second time I listened to it, I got more of it and I understood, which is how it should be with an album. I feel like you shouldn't be able to give an album a review off of first listen. You have to keep listening to it. This album was I would just pick up little extra pieces that I didn't get the last time I heard it, and it's just so good. Message-wise, this album is amazing. It is an album of loving yourself again, off of what I said about J. Cole. It's an album about loving yourself. It's an album about where he came from and how people that came from something like that should give back to where they came from and inspire these kids to get out of that situation. I thought that was such a good thing to bring light to for him. And I feel like this album was just his best. I was wondering how he's gonna top Good Kid, Mad City, because that album just came out of nowhere and just killed everything. And he did top it to me. I feel like he did kill this album. This was a good album. Definitely deserved to be number one. What else can I say? This album was just amazing to me. I feel like took me on the roller coaster, told me the story, while giving me good music, while keeping me in the mood, keeping me listening to what he's saying, and you know, at the end when he's talking to Tupac, I was like, what? Like, I don't know. It was just crazy. I was like, oh man, I don't even know what to say, because I don't know. It just the way it was put together. You know, like I always allude to like the last song, and then when like all the music starts getting louder and louder, and you're listening to what he's saying, it like, as it gets louder, you're like getting what he's saying. So it's like perfectly put together. You're like, oh, like it. The oh moment comes as the music is like building in your ears. Like, it's so good. I don't know what else to say. That's my number one. That's my list. I put 1 through 5 up here. Obviously there were other good albums that I really enjoyed that didn't make the list. But these were just my best albums. It's my best albums. I'm all befuddled now because now I'm just thinking about everything. But like, comment, subscribe. Let me know how you feel about this. Let me know if you think I made the right choices. Let me know if you think my 1, 2, and 3 are the best. If they're worst, they're not good enough. I hope I've given you a good list for you to go and check this music out, because you really should. These are really good albums, and if you haven't heard them, you really should try. Yeah.